Do you ever drink coffee and feel jittery or get palpitations or any symptoms like that? And have you ever wondered if there's a link between coffee, caffeine, and anxiety?
Yeah, if you do, then this film could be interesting. So there are many health benefits with caffeine. However, the question is, does caffeine cause anxiety? Well, what it actually does do is it stimulates the release of adrenaline, which is like your fight or flight response, which is what anxiety is. So when you feel anxious, then you've got an onset of adrenaline and your fight or flight response kicks in. So on some level, drinking too much coffee, because it stimulates that fight or flight response, yes, it will feel like you feel anxious or it'll accelerate it. And you know, like if you have too much coffee, you kind of get those symptoms like anxiety, and it kind of mimics it. So that can be like irritability or restlessness. Perhaps you might feel kind of agitated. So on some level,
palpitations.
Yeah, and palpitations.
I've had those in the past.
Yeah, it kind of does mirror.
But are you saying it mirrors the symptoms or it can actually cause anxiety?
Well, I guess that if you don't suffer with anxiety, then it can mirror those kind of feelings. However, if you're already suffering with anxiety, then what it can do, it can accelerate it. Because I guess it's like if you imagine that you sat in a car and the engine's running and the anxiety's running, and then you start to put your foot on the accelerator. That's what that coffee does. It's like putting your foot on the accelerator. So you're making it kind of that engine work harder, and you can actually feel it more.
But caffeine in small doses is okay.
Absolutely, it is, right.
You know, and I'm not a coffee drinker, you know. I don't think I've drank coffee, I don't know, for 15 years. However, if I'm feeling tired and we've got a long drive, I will get an energy drink.
Yeah.
You know, which has got caffeine in it, and it does sharpen you.
And if I'm feeling really tired, because I am a coffee drinker, I do love a good cup of coffee. Then what it does do is that it helps to, like Nick said, keeps you sharper, but it definitely helps if you're feeling tired and you've got some work to do, that kind of thing. Then it definitely does keep you awake.
But as well as keeping you sharper, one thing that it can do, caffeine can block a brain chemical.
So again,
What's that? Just again. What was that? It can block a brain chemical called adenosine, and that's a chemical that makes you feel tired. So essentially, it can, you know, if you've got issues with insomnia or sleep issues, having caffeine can make it worse.
Yeah. Now, what we're saying is that, look, coffee in moderation, whether you do or don't have anxiety, is absolutely fine. However, just be mindful of it. So, for example, they recommend no more, up to a maximum of 400 milligrams.
Who's they?
Well, any research. I mean, I've read loads of research papers about this, and what they're recommending is that a maximum of kind of 400 milligrams a day. Now, where it's a little bit difficult is that you kind of, each figure you see, because it depends how strongly you brew your coffee or your tea. So these figures kind of do vary, but just like an average, if you're making yourself a black coffee, you're going to be looking at about 100 milligrams of caffeine. Whereas going to like a coffee chain, then they tend to go a lot stronger, and a small cup tends to be up to about 250
Of course,
milligrams.
it always depends who's brewing it as well, let's be honest.
But they tend to be quite a lot stronger in like I say, sort of these establishments. If you're drinking black tea, then black tea you're looking around 80 to 100 milligrams. A green tea, maybe between 30 and 50 milligrams, whereas a decaf coffee, that would only be around 10 milligrams.
So, and what do we sit with those when we've been in restaurants in America and they've had the coffee percolating there for hours, a lot of the waters have evaporated, and you've said to me on a few occasions, oh, that's almost taken the enamel off my teeth, it's that strong.
And I'm like, after drinking one of those, you kind of like, I'm buzzing. Like,
so what sort of caffeine amounts in those?
Yeah, definitely so.
A full daily amount in one go,
But, you know, anything in moderation is the thing. And we started off by saying, you know, is there a link with caffeine and anxiety? If you're already struggling with anxiety, then yes, it could accelerate it. But it comes down to, you know, just don't have too much. But if you do drink a lot of coffee, by the way, and you're thinking of cutting down, make sure that you do that gradually. So there you go.
Yeah, you've got to do that gradually, because I remember when I cut coffee out of my life as such, I got really bad headaches for, I don't know, like two, three, 4 days even.
But if you are somebody that struggles with anxiety, you're not quite sure where it comes from, then make sure that you take a look around our YouTube channel, because we've got films to help look for causes of anxiety, and we've got some great little techniques to help ease that anxiety. So do make sure that you do have a look around our YouTube channel, and we will keep putting more techniques up there to help, so do make sure that you subscribe.